Okay, welcome everybody. So now we are going to begin. So sit straight, palms together. That's it. Breathe long and deep. That's it, long and deep. And I want to say that I really appreciate you all showing up here. There were over 40 people registered, but I think they are waiting for the movie, for Netflix. So keep up the breath. Oh, good. There's Linda. Hi, Linda.
Hi. I keep losing you. I'm not quite sure why.
Okay. So just sit straight, palms together, rub them together. Long, deep breathing. That's it. And relax in the third eye. Go deep into the third eye. I always call this your phone line to soul, your infinity. So relax deeply into your third eye center up here. And inhale to begin. Om Namo Gurudeva. Om Namo Gurudeva. Adgurename, Chagagurename, Adgurename, Siri-Gian Adgurename, Chagagurename, Adgurename, Siri-Gian Adgurename, Chagagurename, Adgurename, Siri-Gian. Long deep breathing. Good. Keep up. Long deep breathing from the belly through the nose. Go deep. Now we're going to add something to this. Keep up the long deep breathing. And on the exhale, feel as though the air is coming out of your heart center. That's it. Please tune in, dear. Keep up the long deep breathing. And on the exhale, feel as though the air is coming out of your heart center. And take note of how that feels. Good. How does that feel? Take note. Keep up. Okay, this is called heart breath. Very simple heart breath. Good. Feel where it takes you. Good. This is what's coming out of your heart is actually healing energy. May feel like air, but is actually healing energy. This is totally central to soul answer healing. Good. Keep up. Good. And now inhale. And exhale. Good. And open your eyes and be present. Okay, so who can tell me, who can volunteer? How did that feel? What? Did anybody feel anything?
Oh, very calming.
Very calming. You got it, dear. Very calming. Did anybody else feel it? Very calming.
Peaceful.
Peaceful. You got it. Okay, those two words very much describe what I call the environment of soul. It's like being on the soul plane. Okay? So now I'm going to tell you where this came from. Heart breath, you will not find it in any Kundalini yoga manual, but I'm going to tell you about it, how I came about it. It was 1976. Jesus appeared to me, and I said, I think you got the wrong house. I could not imagine why Jesus would appear to me. He just stayed there. He was all white with his beautiful sacred heart.
Do you look like that?
No, he was all white. Good question, though. He was so white, so much that I couldn't tell what his face looked like. And so he just stayed there and he said, you're a healer. I said, a what? I had no clue what a healer was. It was a long time ago. And so he taught me heart breath. He told me to do, he didn't say long, deep breathing, but he told me how to breathe because I didn't know what long, deep breathing was at that time. And he says, breathe out of the heart center and feel it. Okay, so let's do that together now. Go back to heart breath. And then he says, allow that energy from the heart to come out of the heart, down your arms, out your hands. So point the palms together as you do it now. Just feel it as you do it. Do you feel anything between your hands? Just build the energy. Allow yourself to feel it. What?
The answer was, of course.
What did you say?
I said, of course.
Of course. Good. Keep up. And as you build the energy, then you can make your hands go a little further apart and continue to feel it. What does it feel like?
Why does it feel very heavy?
Heavy. So there's a palpable presence in there, is what you're saying, right?
It's like inside the heart feels very just thick, heavy. I don't know why that's the word that's coming up.
Mm-hmm. Good. Anybody else?
And it's like the further my hands come away, the more difficult it is to actually bring them together. It feels like it's compressing the energy. Like I want to just keep opening wider as the energy within my palms is growing.
Yeah.
There you go. That's right.
So for me, there's a warmth.
What?
For me, there's a warmth.
Good. Excellent. That's a healing energy. Isn't this fun? You're doing it right away. Opening. Good. So you can spend a whole meditation doing this if you like. And then when you get it really strong, what you can do is you can put your hands on yourself if you have a hurt place, you know, and keep up with healing energy. If you want to send the energy to somebody even on the other side of the world, just put your hands forward. They could be next door, the other side of the world. Just put your hands forward and continue sending that healing energy. Good. And this is what we use in soul answer healing. Okay, you have a new skill, folks. Okay, so when you're actually in a healing setting, you have your heal leaf lying down on the table in front of you, and you are actually guided by soul to place your hands either above their body or on their body. It's just amazing. It just happens when you are tuned into soul. And then that brings about the reorganization of the person's energy, personal energy. So I want to tell you what I have discovered. I have been doing this since 1992, which is about 25 years. I've been blessed to do it. Oh, so anyway, Jesus said, practice this. But I didn't tell anybody for 15 years that Jesus said appeared to me. I was too scared. I thought they would put me in a loony bin. They might have back then. So now it's very important to let you know that. And I have to tell you that at ladies' camp, you know, Yogi Bhajan used to teach us women all during the summer for 6 weeks. What a privilege. So anyway, sometimes he would talk about Jesus, talk about his life, and then at the end, in a very quiet, you know, when not many people were paying attention, he would go, I am Jesus. And I about fell down. Every time he said it, I about fell down. And I'm talking to some other women now that say they actually do remember that. So I'm not going to tell you you have to believe that. We don't have doctrines here. It's just whatever feels true to you, okay? So we are privileged to have his Kundalini Yoga. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about personal energy. This is what I find when I work on people, is that if a person is totally healthy, mind, body, and spirit, what happens is it feels like their energy is just moving faster than the speed of visual light. But what happens is, I'm sure you've all heard of stuck energy, okay? What happens is when we have a trauma, either in this life or in a past life, you know, when you have a trauma, you go like that. It appears to stop the energy. It appears that that energy or that story, that trauma is recorded in the energy system. Okay, and when something similar to that happens in your daily life, it gets triggered. And when it gets triggered, it just plays out in your whole system like virtual reality. So this trauma, we call it a trance. Yogi Bhajan talked about trances. Okay, the stuck energy is a trance that has a whole story with it. And it comes and plays out in your personality. You know, it can be like something that happened quickly, like a car accident maybe, or maybe it happened over time. Like, oh, my mother didn't love me. You know, you just felt that over and over again. And that created this trance. It's like energy. It is energy. You know, when you see auras, you know, you see different colors. Those colors are frequencies of energy. It's actually information. Okay, so then someone on the table, they say, oh, I've been having a lot of trouble with my spouse. They don't do things that I want them to do, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I say, oh, where do you feel that in your body? They'll point to it. Point to it. And then I'll say, well, what color is it? In other words, the frequency. And they, if it's bad, they will always report something like black, brown, gray, or a muddy color. Okay? Because that's a frequency. But it's great for me to have that knowledge, know what's going on. Then I tell them, I say, listen, that trance, it actually has a voice. Please listen to that voice. And then I ask them a question. I'm being fed questions by soul, by the way, and we will listen to soul in a minute. So I might ask them a question, well, Trance, where did you come from? Oh, I had a hard time in school. People were not nice to me, you know? Or maybe they can't find it in this life. Maybe it's a past life thing. So we do a past life regression to find it and to go through it and to dissolve it. Okay? So that's where the story is contained, in the trance. It's a portion of your identity. The ego holds, or it organizes all these trances together, and then that conglomeration of them, that conglomeration then is what your personality is, okay? But you know what? The default setting for a human is your pure soul. So the process of healing, the process of growth, allowing these trances to dissolve, they are energy, to dissolve and to go back to the infinite, I call it for recycling, is the process by which you grow to experience yourself as soul or as God, which is very cozy. It's not like wooga wooga up there, you know, it's just so totally cozy and authentic and fun. You know how when you see Tibetan monks, how they're always giggling? Well, it's because they're living in that space. I'm not telling you have to giggle, but you know, there's an upliftment. In Sikhism, we call it Cherde Kala, which means rising spirit. When these trances, when trances are not continually being activated, then you live in this openness. You've heard of living in the flow. That's what it's about. Activated trance, it takes over. Boom. It's like you've been hacked into. You see? Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. So just keep up your healing heart breath. Okay, so now when you are doing your healing heart breath, when you are going through healing, you do not get the mind involved. The mind has its whole thing. It has its whole agenda. Because I'm going to tell you now that when you're doing your healing heart breath, what I ask people to do is to feel that energy flow from heart breath, send it to that place, to that trance in their body, and feel like it is forgiveness. Feel like it. Do not get your head involved, because your head is going to say things like, well, he attacked me and I was much too young and he shouldn't do, all the judgment stuff. You're going beyond judgment, okay? You are allowing the heart breath, the energy of heart breath, to actually dissolve the energy of that trance. Do you see we're working on the energy level, on the quantum mechanics level? Do you see? It's like a DVD that you are demagnetizing so that it has no more information. And by the way, Kundalini Yoga acts in the same way. I was working with a lady the other day, and I had her doing the meditation to break the mask. And she had been doing it very strongly and very faithfully. And she says, I was doing it, and I was getting ready for my day, and I thought, where is that anger that I normally have? Where is it? It had dissolved. Do you see? So, the feeling that you have at the end of a Kundalini Yoga class, that is a feeling of being healed. That is a place of, you feel light, you feel bright, you feel more accessible. That's it. Okay. So what we're doing is solving this information or demagnetizing it so it doesn't activate anymore. So it's not hard on you anymore. So it doesn't take you over, so that you become a slave of those old habits. Okay. Does anybody have a question? Okay. Or a comment? Do you have a comment?
I have a question.
What?
I have a question.
Yes, dear.
Well,
Are we on
Say your name first. Say your name first.
Christine,
Susan Shiva Simran Kaur.
Dear, tell us your name again. Oh,
Susan.
Shiva Simran. Hi, dear. How are you?
Great, how are you?
Good, good. From San Francisco.
Yes.
Okay, what's your question?
When we practice heart breath, are we only focusing on the exhale, or are we also breathing energy into the heart as well as the exhaling out of the heart?
Excellent question. Only the exhale.
Interesting.
Okay, the energy is coming out of your heart. When you breathe, it's like normal. Okay, and that action is like the energy comes in from the universe. Good question. Anybody else?
yes, I have a question. My name's Christine, and
Okay, Christine? Yes, dear.
what if you don't feel in your body where the trance is, and if you don't know where to send this energy to? You're not identifying a specific spot or location.
Well, that's not a big problem.
Pardon?
Sometimes, I said, that's not a big problem. Some people just feel it all over them. You just sort of dance with people, work with them. Okay. And we are going to go through an actual session in a few minutes, so you'll see how it works.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you for your question. Anybody else?
I have a question.
Yes, dear. It's Sedona.
Yes, Sedona. So the goal is to deactivate the trances. Is that correct?
Dissolve them. Dissolve them.
Dissolve the trances. And does that just come over time of continuing to do the heart breath?
Yes, you can do your heart breath all the time, and nobody even knows it. You just do it all the time. And if somebody around you is, you're at work and somebody goes ballistic, just do heart breath and watch what happens.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me.
I just, have addictive personality traits, when it comes to like overeating sugar and things like that. And it just keeps happening. And so I wonder how long I don't know if there's a time frame of how long this takes to dissolve this kind of thing.
Well, I wouldn't say do not be hard on yourself. Okay? You just keep up with it. You just keep up with it. You're so slim, it's hard to believe you have a sugar tooth.
Well, God gives us the body, and this is the body I got, but this is the struggle that I have.
You have a high metabolism, I'm sure.
I do.
That's fabulous. My mother said that we in our lineage, we survived many famines. So we have slow metabolism. So we keep it all with us. Okay. So now I'm going to,
I have one question, Siri-Gian.
Yes, here.
When we are using this breath, say, I'll give you an example. When my grandmother and I are together, there's a dissonance in our energy because she's experienced a lot of trauma in her life, and I'm a very empowered being. So when we come together, our vibrations are very dissonant. And so I would like to earn her love, earn her appreciation. So here's an example. When I get around her and I'm not getting what I need emotionally from her, I go into the lower vibration to try to connect with her. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be my higher self and then ask her to go there with me, which I want to believe is possible. So that I'm thinking that this heart breath exercise is being brought into my reality right now to help me with that specifically. If I'm with her or in a moment where I'm feeling tightening of the heart and resentment towards her for not seeing me, for not appreciating me, for not seeing me in my power, it's as if she wants me to be angry and frustrated. So that feeds her, but it's unconscious. And so with the heart breath, would I say in my mind, I am activating heart breath, or I am practicing heart breath? How does it make it any different than just a regular breath?
Because you have healing energy coming out of your heart, which is a healing energy. It's a cohesive energy. And like if you were in a meeting at work and people are going nutty, do heart breath. The room will calm down. It will calm you down. Okay, now I have a few comments here. What you said is very important. When you're trying to get love from somebody, it's due to your own trance, dear. So please remember that we are working on letting those go, because true love comes from the soul. And we're going to do that very soon. Okay, so don't try to pull on other people to love you. That's a trap. Okay? Do you understand? That's a trap. And it is a replay. It is a replay of a trance. Okay? Keep up your breath. Good. Okay, so what you're doing, the heart breath, is not to control anybody, but is to provide like nurturance for the whole place. It's like providing love for the whole place. Remember the heart breath healing, the energy is going out. You understand? You are residing in soul, which is pure love. And we're sharing it. That's it. And whatever other people do, bless them. It's not your problem. You were just there to do the heart breath. Allow soul's love to move. Do you see? And you were not there like, I am going to heal you. It's not that. It's just, I am just here. I'm here in healing. And if you feel this, yes, come with me. We will play together, so to speak. You understand? That's it. It is too simple. That's a big problem. It is too simple. Okay. You ready to go on to the next step? Okay. Good. So sit straight. We are going to listen to soul. And as you know, the course coming up is called Intuition Training, the Art of Soul Listening. It is simple. And it is talked about in every religion and every culture. But who does it? I don't know. So I'm asking you to experience it. So sit straight, so your spine is straight. This is very important. You know about the Kundalini? You know about the energy moving through the Kundalini? And begin your heart breath. Oh, and by the way, Jennifer, when you're talking to your grandmother, also in heart breath healing, we get into situations where we offer healing to our ancestors. If they are passed over, good. Because sometimes they show up in a healing session to heal the relationship. But it's sometimes, like I said, we do past life regression, and we can also do ancestral healing in these sessions, okay? Good. Okay, so breathe. Heart breath healing. Good. Go deep. Okay, keep up. Good. Go deep in your third eye. Good. And relax. Relax in your third eye. This is a very amazing, what we call a chakra. All the chakras are very amazing. But this one is a communication one. Because consciousness, it is our access to what you might call higher consciousness. Relax in your third eye. Relax into soul. Good. Relaxing into soul. So soul. Are you there, soul? Are you there, soul? Just feel soul. It might say something. Listen. You might have a visual. You might have a smell or a taste. Soul, are you there? So, what do you want to tell your person right now? What do you want to tell them? Good. And take note, how do you feel when you're in soul? How do you feel when you're in soul? Good. Okay, so thanks, soul. And inhale. And exhale. And breathe. Okay, now I'd like some volunteers. Who can tell me how it felt to be soul?
For me, it felt like a peaceful place, almost like a coming home, and definitely like I didn't want to leave.
You got it, dear. Soul is home. It is what you call heaven. And you can live in that in this world. Isn't that amazing? You got it. Okay. Who else can share? Oh, did Soul tell you anything?
That it was going to be okay. I'm having some life stress, and that it was going to be okay, and I need to come visit there more often.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
And when I ask, Soul, are you there? Always is the answer that I heard, and I always hear always, because when you taught us this at women's camp a few years ago, I do use this technique, and I hear this always, but Soul reminded me I'm not using this technique enough.
Soul is your best friend.
I'm grateful for that reminder.
About anything, just say, Soul, what about it? And I want to tell you that after you develop a habit of this, you know, this first class, it is 6 or 7 weeks, that once you get used to it, you know Soul's voice. So you can just go, Soul, what do you think about this? Soul might tell you something that you actually had been hearing for a while, or it might tell you something like, oh man, I never thought of that. That's too weird, I can't do that. But then you just relax and humble yourself and say, okay, Soul, let's go, let's do it. Good. As a matter of fact, that's how I finally learned how to teach. His Soul said, okay, we teach 2 or 3 people at a time. Let's teach at solstice. I said, no, that's 100 people. I can't do that. It took me 2 weeks. Finally, I said, Soul, I make you a deal. I'll show up. You teach the class. So I would just listen to Soul. That's what I do, listen to Soul and teach the class. So who else can share their experience with Soul? Volunteer?
I can share.
Yes, dear.
The soul takes on, in my experience, an animal. And I have a lot of these types of animal spirits that come through. And so I did see an animal, or feel it more than see it. And it felt like a big belly. I felt like my belly got so fat, it was like I had a big Buddha belly.
Oh.
And it went away when I stopped to connect. Huh?
What did Soul say to you?
I'm kind of afraid to say it out loud. It's
Okay.
You are unlimited power.
That's exactly what Soul would say. Soul is God. It is essentially God. In the Vedas, the totality is called Brahm, and the individual extension of that is called Atman, which is Soul. But in my listening to Soul, teaching others to listen to Soul, what I found is Soul, everybody's soul kind of, it sounds like it's the same person, the same consciousness. So it's very interesting. Okay. So I'm surprised that you felt it as an animal. Maybe you do a lot of work with animal spirits, right?
Yeah, I actually come from Saint Francis of Assisi's lineage, apparently in Italy. He has a lineage, and my grandmother found that out somehow. So I do have a connection with Saint Francis, and I know Saint Francis also had connections with animals.
Okay, good. Okay, so this is the first time I've heard of an expression of an animal from soul. You're always learning. Okay, and in the course, in the healing course, there is one module in which you will experience your guides. And the guides are Adi Shakti, or Mother Earth, Guru Ram Das, you all know Guru Ram Das, Yogi Bhajan, and Baba Siddhi Chand. Okay? But you do it experientially. Okay? And of course, soul is your chief guide, your best friend, your lover, your kindness. Okay? Your supporter. Okay, so now this is important. We are going to differentiate between soul and what I call everyday self. Because when you hear inside your mind, you say, well, I don't know if that was soul. I don't know if it was like my ego, okay? So we're going to test it out. So I call this other part, everything that's not soul, I just call it everyday self. That includes your ego. It includes your emotions, all of your memories, all of your training, all of your, what we normally call conscience. Conscience is a matter of training. Freud called it superego, okay? Now, ego is not bad. People say, kill your ego. Do not try to kill your ego. It will fight back. What you do is you clear your ego. Okay? That's what this healing of trances is all about. Because your ego, it has a job. Its job is to protect you and to project you. I tried to get rid of my ego a long time ago, you know. I turned out to be a ghost. Duh. No projection whatsoever. Okay? So you need a strong ego, but not one that's clogged up with all these trances. Do you see? What we need is a clear and open ego that serves soul. So it's like everyday self says, hey, soul, what do we do here? You know, because the only way that ego has learned what to do and how to protect and project you is by past experiences. Some of them pretty nasty. So, you know, then that trance comes up. I'm afraid I'm going to murder that person. I am going to run away. I am going to talk badly about that person. Do you see? Okay. So in a healing session, we begin to get soul and everyday self talking to one another so that we can begin to come to a partnership between everyday self and soul. And that becomes a spiritual path until you finally get so clear that you realize, oh my God, I am soul. That is a spiritual path. Okay? Good, but it's a path, so don't get worried. It's lifetimes of work on that. Okay, so let's listen to everyday self. So again, do heart breath. Relax in heart breath. Relax in your third eye. Relaxing your third eye. Good. Relax into everyday self. Relax into everyday self. Everyday self, were you there? Take note of how everyday self feels. How do you feel when you are in everyday self? Everyday self, what do you want to say to your person? Good. Please remember that. You can write it down. Write it down. Good. Now inhale. And exhale. And open your eyes. Good. So who can share?
I would be happy to share again. So
Okay.
my everyday self is very chatty, and it was like a series of voices all trying to speak at the same time.
We have many voices in there. Yes. How did it feel?
That's a good question. It felt unfamiliar. I haven't visited with that part of myself in that way. Whereas going and talking to Soul, I am more familiar with. And then I felt really excited, like, oh, I want to go do like a million things. And then I just continued the heart breath. And when I asked, did I everyday self want to tell me, she or they said that I was on the right path. And then I checked in with Soul, like, what do you think? Or what do you have to say? And Soul was like, yes.
Oh, good. You got a partnership going. Cool. Good work, dear. I'm glad you paid attention in class. Okay. Who else can share about their everyday self?
I'll say something.
Yes, who is that?
This is Karen.
Karen.
From upstate.
Oh, good. Hi, dear.
Yeah. My everyday self said, let's go for a walk. I said, it's 19 degrees and I don't have a dog anymore. And everyday self said, oh, but you got a spirit dog. You could take your spirit dog for a walk.
Oh, what fun.
I thought that was nice.
Oh, that's lovely. How did everyday self feel?
Yeah.
How did
it's not, the feet are happy.
What?
The feet are happy. My feet are happy.
Oh, your feet are happy. Is that what you said?
Yeah. They want to go for a walk.
Oh, that's delightful. Okay, tomorrow when it gets light, take Soul, everyday self for a nice walk and take spirit dogs.
Spirit
Cool.
dog, yeah. That's what I thought.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah, we're in the woods.
What?
We're in the woods.
Oh, nice. Nice. Where upstate are you?
Glad to snow.
What?
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about 70 miles from New York City. North of New York City.
Gotcha. Okay. I used to live up in that area, so I'm just curious. Okay, so who else can share experience with everyday self? Thank you, Karen. Is that somebody's hand? Jessica, was that your hand? Jessie, was that your hand? Do you want to say? Oh, wait a minute. You have to be unmuted. Let's see. Let me look for you. Okay, now talk, dear.
Okay, I wasn't actually trying to speak. I have to switch the screen like this, but
Oh.
my soul, I noticed like at the beginning, right as we were tuning in about the way that I move places a lot. And I guess I recognized that kind of for the first time as a trance, as like one of these patterns that I keep on doing. And it just was my message has been about looking at healing that and sending heart breath that way as I work more with that. And I'm sure that I'm going to have opportunities to do that in the next week. I'm going to see my mother on Tuesday. I'm driving down to meet her in Portland. And there's one part of me that like wants to get really excited about seeing somebody that I haven't seen in a little while, and I have a good gift to give to her. And then there's this other part of me that's about healing those trances, that they're patterns that I started when I was young, and that I'm really excited to breathe into it and try to heal some old karma as much as I'm able to right now. That was kind of what my message from Soul has been tonight.
Oh, good for you. So you are working with Soul. That's too cool. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jessie recognizes all the moving as a trance. Now, and let me be very clear. She is saying that Soul is saying it's a trance that can be healed so that you feel more rooted, you feel more at home where you are.
No, you know what? I think I have learned to feel rooted and home wherever I am, which has been part of what the run has been all about. But what I actually recognize is that that I started reluctantly dating somebody in Florida. Not reluctantly, but it was unusual because I'd been trying not to do that, been not doing that. And then I recognized that kind of the instant I started this relationship, I then left Florida for 2 months, and I said I was going to be back in December, but then I came to Maine instead, and it was too much for him. So he really pushed me away because he thought that I was being squirrely, and I recognized that I do that with people not just people, but like as soon as I start to become intimate with somebody, I'm concerned that I'm going to let them down or show them my real ugly self, and then I run away, and but it's because of not because of, but it's in reaction to these patterns that I created, growing up, and the thing is that like I've been working a lot with meditation over the last year because of the family stuff. Like I really in the last year, I'm so grateful for all of the trouble that maybe I had when I was young because of how much I think I've grown from it, and how much better I think better sounds egotistical. But I feel like I've really grown from some of the hard moments in my life, and I'm really grateful to my parents, but like I still also have some baggage associated with family stuff that makes me not stay any place ever, and not makes me, but anyway, and so I'm working on I'm now at the place where I'm grateful for the stuff, but I really want to have a better relationship with my mother, and I feel like it's at the heart some of my, not just my mother, but, like my mother's a really good place to start.
There's always a great place to start.
Yeah, I'm gonna breathe into it over lunch in Portland on Tuesday, and yeah, I'm just gonna breathe with it. That's all.
Good. Thank you, dear. I appreciate what you told us, because I want to tell everybody what she's talking about is the way karma works. Who we are as our soul, we sign up for our karmas. In other words, some other time we've been a booby head, okay? And then after that sets up the karmic chain. We become the victim of whatever is really remarkable about how similar they are, about how we have done something to somebody else, and then somebody else is doing just the same thing to us. Imagine. Wow. So then, that's the victim part. When you have had enough of being the victim, you say, God, heal me. I want healing. You show me the way. Okay, and this is a method of doing that, of letting go. Then when you heal it, you know what? You have gained incredible wisdom in that category. You know it from all sides. You know it from having been the perpetrator. You know it from having been the victim. And as a result of that beautiful working knowledge, you gain an ability to help other people heal in that category. It's really amazing. So then, after somebody's been on the table and they have healed really terrible, nasty stuff, I will ask them deeply. I will say, okay, so tell me, listen inside, because I've already taught them how to listen to soul. I say, listen, what have you learned through that whole karmic chain of events? Excuse me, and I do not prompt them. And inevitably, you know what they say? One word, compassion. I have learned compassion, and they are so humbled by it. Then, if a person has truly gone through all their healing, they've really done it, they become grateful. They become grateful for all of those challenges because they have grown in ways that they never could have. Do you see? So as a healer, you really become a midwife to the birth of the whole person. It's just amazing. You hold them. You hold, that's what it means to hold the space and stay present for the person. As they heal, they emerge to be the most incredible person, especially in that category. Okay? So you're on the right track, Jessie. Keep up. Keep up. So, okay, so let's do some work. You ready, everybody? Okay, so sit straight. Begin breathing. Begin heart breath. Relax in soul. Relax in soul. So, what trance would you like to work with today? Just feel it. What trance? Just feel it in your body. What does it feel like in your body? You can examine what emotion it is, what repeating story it is. Trance. Okay, we're talking to trance now. Trance. Where did you come from? How did you develop? What have you been doing for your person? You have a duty? Do you have a job for your person? Good. So trance. How would you like to transform? Would you like to go to the light? You have served your person so well. Would you like to go to the light now? Would that be helpful to your person if you transform? Keep up your heart breath. As we said, don't let your mind get involved, but just feel like this healing energy from your heart breath is forgiving. Send that forgiving, healing energy to the trance. Keep up. Watch what happens. You might have seen what color the trance was. Watch what happens as you send it forgiving, healing energy. Good. Watch what happens. Does it change colors? Let it go to the light. Let yourself be filled with light. Good. Now, as you do this, allow soul to love you. Allow yourself to feel soul's love for you. Allow that soul's love to fill your whole body. Let it move through your whole body. Does it feel cozy? Do you feel down to earth? Cozy, but open and free. Like your real self. No fake self, real. Breathe. So allow soul to love your everyday self. Let them become the best partners, the beloved. In the Eastern scriptures, soul is called the groom. Everyday self is called the soul bride. Feel that beautiful relationship within your own self. That's who you are. Beautiful. Open up to that exquisite relationship. And if you love it, just make an intention to do your best, to always be there in that cozy relationship where you are totally filled. Totally filled. You don't have to be anything else. This is who you are. So satisfying. So precious. Just let that become indelible. That knowledge, that feeling become indelible in every cell of your whole body. Every bit of your psyche. Breathe. Now, do you feel that light? It's a very special light in every cell of your being. Keep up the heart breath. As you do, it's like blowing on embers. It increases the light. Feel the light growing. That's it. Let it grow. What a preciousness. Let yourself be totally identified as that light. This is who you really are. Know yourself. And inhale. And exhale. And breathe as you open your eyes and come present. Coming present. Good. Okay. Now, as is our habit, who can share?
It's Jessie. I turned into a pomegranate.
Oh, how funny.
I know, because it's both fruit and seed. And that was like, first I got like a really colorful outside, it was like I said to myself, oh my goodness, I'm turning into a big bright berry. And then I realized that the big bright berry was a pomegranate, which I just love. I'm tickled about it.
Oh, that's precious. Lovely. Did you find any answers to your movie?
I think it's about getting back to that oneness and that that spirit of potential that because of the pomegranate being both fruit and seed, that it's potential, that you can either use it to sow for future or for to reap for now, sort of. And to me it was about I was thinking about right use of energy because of that, because to me it was right use of energy, and where I can spend my energy and where I should maybe not be spending my precious life energy. That was kind of the message that I took from it anyway.
Oh, good. And soul is guiding you in it, right?
I hope so.
Rely on it.
Yes.
Rely on it. Thank you, Jessie. Who else can share?
I would like to. My trance didn't want to go to the light. It wasn't ready yet. So when I was first looking at it, it was like right below my heart center, and it was like dark and heavy. When I asked, its purpose is to teach me to be strong, or it is teaching me to be strong, and that purpose is not complete yet. But as you were talking us through the meditation, it did change from that dark color to like a light color, like a white. And I felt
it changed a lot.
It changed colors, but I guess it seems that it's still there to serve me, to motivate me to stand in my own self, in my own light, in my own strength.
What color did it change to, dear?
It changed to white.
You did it. Okay.
Okay.
So.
And I felt significantly lighter. I mean, just worlds lighter.
That's it. That's it. But it told you why you're dealing with it in the karmic sense is to become stronger. And you have become stronger, haven't you?
I have, yes.
You've been through a lot. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Bless you, dear. So who else can share? Anybody? Can anybody else share their experience? Oh, she's a Simran. Do you have your hand raised, Shiva Simran?
You're muted. You need to click. She needs to click on the thing to unmute herself. There should be like a blue box by your face if you move the mouse onto your face.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Yay!
Thank you, Mukande. Thank you.
Technology is so fun. So the trance I explored is the trance I have with my current roommate. Being male and unproductive is a common story in my life, and I asked where it came from, and it comes from my mom, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother, all judging men for their unproductiveness. And it showed up as like the blue color of the throat of the sixth chakra. And it was that blue, that effervescent blue color. And the message was, choose your words wisely because they create your reality. And it was all about the throat chakra and how I'm judging my roommate and all men in my life that are lazy and unproductive. And as I allowed that to go through like 3 generations of people, my grandmothers, it did turn to white. It eventually turned to white through all of those people.
Beautiful.
And my grandmothers are passed, and they were like saying like they were grateful that I was clearing it for them wherever they are in the universe.
That's a very powerful thing to do, is to clear from your ancestors. I've done that with my grandmother, both of my grandmothers. It was just remarkable, just remarkable. But it frees up. Did you feel that it freed up the energy in you?
Yeah, definitely. Frees it up, and it's like there's new possibility. I can have whatever conversation I want about with this person and just enjoy what this person is rather than what he's not being in my...
And that helps him to build himself. Is that true?
I think so.
Yeah. That's wonderful. So stay with soul.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you, dear. Hasn't this been fun? Yeah. Now, you all, I am going to trust that this webinar is being recorded well, so you all can come back to this and go through the whole process again, okay? Now, I do have to tell you that when you do heart breath, when you go through the process, you might find that you release extreme emotions. For instance, if she was sexually abused as a child, what I have found is that she will probably cry for the whole session, actually become kind of hysterical, okay? What I do is I just get her sitting up and I hold her, do heart breath for the whole time and hold her because she hasn't been supported. Do you understand? And so that's the first thing in healing, is that the emotions will become expressed, or you will see people crying. That's good. That's a first level. Or they may scream. You may scream. That's fine. That's the first level, because all of those emotions have been stored in the body. So the first level is to let them out. And then you go deeper and deeper into the trance to free that up. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. What a delight. Okay, and I congratulate every one of you. You all now know how to listen to soul now. And a number of you, like Mukande, Rebe, you have been doing. Okay, so trust soul. And the way you learn to trust soul is you just follow soul. You just do it over and over again and see how it works. And if it works out, you say, okay, soul, worked out. Okay, I trust you a little more. Okay, so just keep up with it. Now I'm going to talk about the courses we have coming up. The first one is Intuition Training, the Art of Soul Listening, and some of you are already signed up for it. This is the basis of everything that I teach, okay? And Shiva Simran, she took a course similar to this in San Francisco called Soul Whispers. So we're going to go into it deeper. It will be basically 6 weeks of learning. The first week is we're going to have a party, get to know each other, because that's so important, and you'll know more about how the course works. So now I just want to show you how it works. In every course, you are going to have written text, you will have quizzes, and you will have, we will have these conference videos where we get together. We will also have a forum where you communicate with one another. So we really become a community of heart, supporting one another. Safe place. And the other is that you will have a meditation, a Kundalini meditation to do for the whole thing, because that's important. Okay, now let me just show you what it looks like. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, quiz. Okay, so this is what this first course looks like. This is Intuition Training, the Art of Soul Listening. So here's the introductory material. And then every week you would need to read all of this. See, here's our meditation. It will give you background. Here's our holiday party on December 28th. And then here's a first class for intuition. So I'm going to show you the text. You would read the text. I used to teach the text online. I mean, in the conference call. But then I realized, no, can't do that. It's much better that you read it first, you get it first, and then I give you what I call galloping quizzes when we come online to make sure that you understand it all. Okay? Oh, here we are. We're talking about what is intuition. It's not psychic ability. It is not channeling. It is listening to soul and higher beings. Okay, and then after you read that, then you do your quiz. And I'm very strict about homework, okay? Very strict. You must do your homework, especially if you're going into training. Absolutely required, and to be on time. Classes are on Thursday night, just like the same time that we have now. And then you are filled in quizzes, like what are 3 aspects of developing intuition? You know, you write them all out. And then when you get them all written, see, it says finish attempt. And then that sends your answers. Okay, that sends your answers to Mukhi and Tejwant couldn't be with us tonight, but they are the teaching assistants and they will give you feedback. And so then they send it to me and I go over it and send it back to you. Okay, so we go deeper and deeper. Okay, so the first course, this intuition training, is a very first course, but it gets you grounded into listening to soul. When you do a healing session, you listen to soul. Soul tells you everything. We do what I call, let me just go back now. Good. We use the healing energy, and then we talk to the healing. And I call it the Socratic method because Socrates asked questions of his students to find their own truth. You see, as a healer, you teach your healee how to listen to their own soul. So you keep going deeper and deeper to find their own truth, to move through those trances. What we did tonight was very brief. And what you do in a healing session is much more comprehensive. And the questions that you are asking are from soul. So sometimes, for instance, the person I ask, I'll say, soul will tell me to say, okay, tell me about your dad. And they go, oh, my dad. And then the whole story comes out, you see. So all the questions come from soul. Then with the healing students, they'll say, well, you know, soul didn't tell me anything for a long time. I say, don't worry about it. Because the first part of the session is basically opening up the healy's energy and working with that. And then soul comes on. So if soul doesn't come on for a long time, if you don't hear soul for a long time, it just means that you need to work with their energy more. Okay. So everybody is invited to take this first course, which is Intuition Training, the Art of Soul Listening. And it is also the foundation for taking healer training. So Soul Answer Healer training, it lasts for 3 years, and we do it in modules, like discrete courses. It lasts maybe about 6 weeks each, so that you have time off. You will have a day off, a week off, about every 6 weeks. But the people become very close, right? Right, Mukundi? Mukundi? We've become very close. The people who've gone through it, it's more like we are healing and supportive family. It's really quite beautiful. So the first year of healer training is about your own self-healing, so that you understand the process. You are grounded in the process of healing. And it's very important that you have a background in Kundalini Yoga. So if you have already taken teacher training, that qualifies you. If you have not, then there's a form online that you fill out. So if you want to take a closer look at that, go to soulanswerhealing.com/healer-training. Okay, and that's a whole category of different pages for you to go through. And there is an application, okay? But that's just so I know where you're coming from. I know what you're about. And then you understand also where we are, where we're going. And at the end of the 3 years, I certify you if you keep up. If you don't keep up, no. So you have to do all your homework. Right, Mukundi? She's done her homework.
I've done the homework.
Yes. So now she can help with everybody else, which is really a blessing for all of us. Same with Tejwan. And then each year, we have a in-person gathering. It will probably be here in New Mexico at the ashram. So that we get to practice. I get to show you the new thing for the next year. So I see how you're doing, so that we can have fun, get to know each other, eat and dance, right? And sing, and go through our healing and cry and scream, whatever it is, because we work on each other. Does anybody have any? Oh, so the first year is about self-healing. The second year, you begin working on healees. You have your practicums, okay, where you're working on other people, and then you report them. And then we discuss those in class. And then the last year is anatomy. The first anatomy course is subtle anatomy or electromagnetic anatomy, where we cover all the 10 bodies, that Yogi Bhajan taught, all the 10 bodies. We talk about the meridians, the chakras, the tattvas, the gunas, and so on. And we begin to see how they work in the body. Then the next one is physical anatomy. It's very basic physical anatomy, but it starts out with quantum mechanics. As you know, everything is energy, E equals MC squared, okay? So there's actually a relationship to light in this energy that produces mass, okay? And then we go, Yogi Bhajan was in his lectures, when he would talk about this, he would talk about the autonomic nervous system, which is parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, as well as a hormonal glandular system, is basically the crossover between the energy and the physical body. So we talk about that. And we go through the basic physical anatomy systems. And then we get together again and you get certified. Does anybody have any questions about that?
I have a question. It was regarding something you had put in the email about working on getting it certified for yoga therapy. Can you tell us about that?
About being a certified yoga therapist?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a new standard that's going on these days. And I am a certified yoga therapist. Now, Shanti is the one who really teaches Kundalini yoga therapy. The situation is yoga therapy is mostly based in Hatha yoga, right? In other words, seeing how the asanas promote well-being in certain ways. Now, of course, we have Yogi Bhajan who carries it to the next step, okay? And now what I teach is a step further. You know, it's in the energetic system. And I'm sorry to say that they don't quite get it. So I am not going to say that if you pass this course, you automatically can get certified as a yoga therapist, because we've gone a few steps beyond what they're talking about. Do you understand? Okay.
I think I do, yes.
Okay, good. That was a good question. Even though yoga means unity, and we have the 7 branches of yoga, which includes the energy and the meditation and so on. The people at, what is it called? International Association of Yoga Therapists. They're not really convinced yet about the energy, even though people change like that. Anyway, good question. Okay, anybody else? Any other questions? No more questions. Okay, so I have so enjoyed being with all of you. And I really look forward to being with you all in the future as we move forward and expand this understanding. You know, when it comes down to it, when you get practiced in it, it is so quick. You experienced how quick it was. If people could simply make this their habit, you know, how quickly could the world change to peace? You know, in this season, we always say, oh, peace to earth, goodwill to humankind. This is the way to do it, dears. This is it. And we create a community of support. It's very precious. Okay, love you all. Okay, so it's 3 palms together.
Can I ask you a
What?
question? Can I ask you, can you hear me?
Yes, dear. Who is it?
I'm Dale Rainey.
Yes. What would you like to say?
Well, you spoke about energy, and I think that's my next step of learning. You know, one of my next steps of learning.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I'm not going to be part of your class. It's not part of my path. Now, I can go to the library, to the Yogi Bhajan library, and read up on what he has to say. I've got a whole bunch of his books. But I'm glad you talked about it, because I didn't, you know, I know that I've been thinking recently that this is an area I want to learn about, but I did not know all the things that you just spoke about. And if I've heard them before, which I don't think I have, it's just really helped a lot.
Oh, I'm so glad. Okay. So, my dear, if you don't want to take the healer training, I'm going to suggest I'm going to be adding more courses in the future. If you sign up for my newsletter, you will get to see what courses are coming up. And the intuition training, frankly, is a basis of everything. So I'm going to tell you all how to sign up for the newsletter. It's soulanswer.org. This is different than the site that I told you before at 4. Okay, soulanswer.org. And then look over on the right-hand side, and it will give you a place where you can sign up.
Well, I do get.
I'm not automatically signing you up here.
I'm already get your newsletter.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
I think that's how I'm here. I think you.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay.
Well, and just to let you know, I am interested in learning more about energy. So if you think of any other ideas, methods, paths, I'm all ears, and I will keep a lookout on your newsletter. So thank you very much.
Good. Okay, so I suggest that you do the heart breath, you feel the energy, you work with the energy, and you revisit this video. Okay?
Thank you.
And then I am going to teach another course for people who do Kundalini Yoga and also for those who do not do Kundalini Yoga. And I think it's going to be called something like Your Gift to Give or Light Workers. There are a lot of people who are coming into a destiny of helping us move into the Aquarian age. And so many people are light workers from whatever tradition they come from.
I think you're talking to me right now.
I beg your pardon?
You're talking to me right now. I am one of those people that you're speaking of.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before I leave you, because I know I'm taking up a lot of time, but I have taken classes from Darshan Kaur Khalsa in Fairfax, up in Northern Virginia.
In Virginia?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So that's my background. That was back in the early 90s.
Oh, good. Good. Okay, we were, when I came into the ashram in 1976, we were both graphic designers. So we've known each other a very long time. Okay. Yeah. So everybody, palms together. And we're going to sing our love song to one another. So breathe, heart breath, and extend this beautiful heart breath energy to everybody who's on the call or on this video right now, whether they are in person or whether they will be watching the recorded version. Okay? Send that beautiful, loving heart breath. And inhale. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love around you. And the pure light within you. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Inhale. And bow to your most cozy self, your precious soul, your infinite self. Down to earth and elevating and expanding. God bless you all. Love you all. Satnam. Peace to all, love to all, light to all. Satnam.
Satnam.
Thank you, ladies, for sharing your experience with me.
What?
I was thanking all the ladies for sharing this experience with me. Thank you, Siri-Gian. Thank you for offering this.
Thank you for sharing. Satnam.
Thank you.
Satnam.
Saddam.
Sanam ji.
Open the window or are you going to be cold? No,